Now, with the React Memo and should component update, it would be kind of logical to basically add either of the two to any component you're creating. Every functional component could be wrapped with React Memo, and every class-based component could implement should component update. Is that wise? Now, this might sound like a good idea, but it actually isn't. You will have components that will basically always update when their parent updates. In such cases where you depend on some input from your parent component, that is about the only data your parent component manages, and therefore when your parent component updates, you will also have to update because then that data changed. In such cases, if you implement should component update or React Memo, then these functions will run and will check whether the input changed, and they will find out, yes, it changed, like it always does, and they will allow you to re-render. So all good, right? You didn't stop anything from happening. Well, but you executed this unnecessary code. This check here, of course, doesn't come for free. It's not a super performance-heavy check, but still, it is code that executes. And if you wrap all your components with such checks, and let's say 60% of your components actually always need to update when their parent updates, well, if you then wrapped all your components with these extra checks, then you're running unnecessary checks on 60% of your component code base. And that is not really something you want to do. So you should evaluate this carefully. Is this component part of a parent component that could change related to something that does not affect me at all, as it is the case here, where the person's component is certainly not interested in changes related to the cockpit? Well, then you should implement your check here. Otherwise, if you're pretty sure that in all or almost all cases where your parent updates, you will need to update too, then you should not add should component update or React Memo, because you will just execute some extra logic that makes no sense and actually just slows down the application a tiny bit.